Hello everyone, this is Ashish Chaturvedi. I am a practice leader at HFS Research and I am joined by two senior leaders from TechM, Sunil Chauhan and Raja Roy. And supply chain happens to be one of the primary areas that I cover. And today I'm going to discuss the same with these two gentlemen. For the unversed, TechM emerged as a Horizon 3 leader in the Supply Chain Report 2023 of HFS Research. So these gentlemen surely know a thing or two about this industry. Let me start with Sunil first. Sunil, this inherent need for enterprises to move from linear and traditional supply chains to more networked and autonomous. We talked to about 30 plus enterprises during the report, the study of supply chain. And what we figured out was that 70% of the customers are still grappling with the disruption caused by pandemic. And the reason they said was right now, because our supply chains were disconnected and disjointed, it became very difficult for us to revive. And that's why, we want to move to more circular models and eventually move to a more networked and autonomous supply chain. The primary reason is that we want to have more control over our supply chain. We want our supply chains to become more resilient. What's your thought on it? What's Techem's approach?
No, you are right, Ashish. See, the recent events have exposed the fragility of a linear supply chain. This was not something that people had envisaged. They were creating supply chain to be a more cost and time efficient function. But after COVID, our conversation with customer has also changed to creation of a supply chain that is more resilient and in a way more flexible to anticipate and take care of some of these challenges. So at Tech Mahindra's supply chain next.now is a philosophy to move the supply chain function from a linear and cost and efficiency function to a more value driven kind of supply chain, which uses the different capabilities to create value and innovation right from design to production, logistics and aftermarket as such. Right. So the movement from or rather the shift from a non-linear supply chain starts with creation of a human-centered design, increasing the collaboration between the different entities by using of tools that are present now, eventually moving to an autonomous cognitive way of working, right? So we aim to make our customer supply chain smart, customer centric and sustainable as such, right? So the outcome that we normally aim for is to use the different muscles of supply chain to work together in a coherent manner and for a common purpose, right? To give you an example, we had a leading automotive manufacturer, which was our customer, who was facing issues with their inbound supply chain for the production parts as such. It was leading to issues like buffer stock, data mismatches, and eventually, ultimately, people were having a very poor stakeholder experience as such over there. Now, a problem like this is complex because there are so many entities involved, like external and internal, like transporter, warehouse manager, logistics, account payable, and a solution cannot be just a technology solution. It also has to get all this different business to work together and increase the trust and visibility between them, right? So what we did for them is, with the help of the CIO, we created a design thinking workshop, bringing all the different departments together, both external and internal, and to identify what is the root cause for all these issues. And we eventually zeroed down on two things. One was the complex multi-party workflow that was there, and second was very low degree of collaboration and a very linear way of working, right? So to solve this problem, we created a solution stack, and we also recommended bringing everybody into a distributed ledger on a blockchain. The idea was that whatever wherever this different stage of the supply chain should be visible to the other party, so that they can also react and work accordingly. And it also involved a bit of change management, because some of the external entities were a little resistant to come onto a common platform. But with the help of the CIO, we were able to bring back in, we were able to implement a solution stack that helped create a standard workflow. It reduced the cycle time, reduced the data discrepancy by almost 60 to 65%, and overall increased the trust and visibility between the different stakeholders. So these are ways we try to work with our customer.
Got it. And that brings me to my next point, which is having aspiration is great, but what if your approach is wrong? So, Raja, when we talk to these companies, we also figured out that there is a lot of variance in the functions when they think about outsourcing. So when it comes to things like demand planning, order management, we see that most of the firms outsource these functions. But when it comes to things like after sales, only 18% of the firms were outsourcing it. So when a provider doesn't own all pieces of that puzzle, how easy or difficult is for the provider to bring in transformation? What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, Ashish, for the question. In my view, a networked supply chain should, by design, have an integrated transformation approach. Okay, transformations of such a magnitude, and particularly for a topic like supply chain, is not only limited at various supply chain functions, but also at various layers of enablements. Like, right, for example, business model, operating model, business processes, the various technology stacks that are getting used, right, to have the real impact realized. So we look at any supply chain transformation as an opportunity to educate the clients with an outside-in approach, data-driven point of view, looking at the art of possible and setting the right interventions that are required to achieve that transformation. A lot of times we work with business and technology leaders in supply chain to articulate the vision and map it with the ROI or business cases, right? Of course, in long-standing relationship with the clients, we are able to deliver such kind of large-scale holistic transformation. But at least for customers where we are initiating discussions or for new logos, we at least educate the customer on what is the art of possible, the associated ROI, and the multiplier effect that they would get, by doing this holistic transformation as a continuous step of evolution, right? Let me talk about an example. This is about a customer who is a leading consumer appliances company, and they had shifted their focus from a cost saving to a growth multiplier when it comes to supply chain. They were also looking at responsible manufacturing at scale, creating holistic impact across the organizations, and particularly opening up, new business models. Right. The first and foremost step that we did is to help them with our consulting and advisory services to assess the current state and extract a 200 million business case for them. Then it comes to new product development. With new product design and value engineering, we have been able to optimize the number of parts for their products. The third step, which is more on the supplier source and procure part of it, resilience, visibility regarding suppliers with enough time for supplier development, education, awareness were given focus on. And this has led to about 100% compliant product launches. The fourth element is about production, which is better engineering, plant engineering, visibility of manufacturing operations, better traceability of assets, and all of it helped avoid downtimes and asset write-offs, which were in the magnitude of millions of dollars. The fifth element is about logistics, align the upstream production and downstream logistics with traceability to improve their time to fulfillment. And last but not the least, the aftermarket part of it, where we were able to apply all this to make the aftermarket function agile, efficient, customer centric, and that helped them to grow with a platform driven approach across all the levers that I talked about. So to summarize, given a larger engagement, given a long-standing engagement, it is much more easy to influence the customer, and both the partners have the trust to enable it. For new customers, it is more about how you educate the client and paint the art of possible to them.
Great. So if you own the end-to-end supply chain, transformation becomes easy. That's one part of the puzzle. Second part of the puzzle is there are multiple entities in play, which Sunil already mentioned about. So in such a case, how do you go about it? You know, there are multiple entities, there are new revenue opportunities, there are new possibilities to explore. It's not just about efficiencies. There is internal data that needs to be leveraged. Then there is external data which resides with these entities. And here the provider has this uh, great opportunity to play the role of an orchestrator. So what's TechM doing in this space? Are you seeing such engagements coming your way where you are playing the role of an orchestrator?
So the recent changes is basically blurring a lot of boundaries between the different departments. You're absolutely right on that. And to embrace the change, we need to have a mindset of problem solving and innovation, and not just to solve the current problem, but also to make your supply chain future proof, right? So towards that, there are different ecosystems that Tech Mahindra brings into play. The foremost is innovation, or rather acceleration, right? We work with our technology partner to create a certain solution that may be plaguing a specific industry or a particular geography, right? We do that. But in addition to that, we also innovate with our customers and with our partners to get the learning from one customer or industry segment and bring it as an accelerator for the other industry segment. In addition to that, the third thing that Tech Mahindra does very, very often is we have a lot of innovation lab across the world, and we invest in the newer technology or the newer upcoming platform. There are so many niche platforms that are coming up to solve just one portion of the supply chain, not as a whole. So we orchestrate the whole end-to-end solution by bringing in these different components to see what makes sense or what help works best for a particular industry segment as such, and we bring in our customers as well as our partner on that. The fourth and the more important one is within the customer itself, there are a lot of silos of data and information which is there. So we work with the customer to break these boundaries and get everybody together using different tools like design thinking or any other such a innovation forums, getting them together to understand what data they have and how best they can work well with each other. So these are the different ways that we try to break the boundaries and get everybody working together and increase the trust and visibility between the different components.
Perfect. Raja, now I want to focus on something different but very connected to supply chain and the elephant in the room, sustainability. Everyone wants to do it, but right now only few have identified the right approach to do it. I still remember there was one example that you shared, and there were few others shared by few other providers during our study, which had got it sorted at multiple levels. Clients that have got it sorted at scope 1, 2, and 3 emission norms. They have got it sorted at a subdomain level where they are focusing on conscious sourcing to green warehousing to eco-friendly fulfillment. But these cases are far and few. Most of the times, what we saw was the client takes a standalone function, applies some sustainability approach over it, and then this, on the pretext of saying that at least we are heading towards in the right direction, justifying that effort. But it essentially doesn't lead to the magical results that we are, anticipating from applying sustainability. How within TechM as well as with your clients you are working on, the very relevant topic of sustainability?
Thank you for that question, Ashish. Look, I would not like to sound too bookish, but sustainability is not by choice. It is our responsibility to the society and the planet at large, right? And pretty much the points that you mentioned, we are completely in agreement with that, and that's the reason sustainability solutions are embedded in every aspects of our supply chain offering, right? And doesn't stand, in isolation. This also aligns to the RISE pillars that Mahindra and Mahindra, talks about, which is RISE for a more equal world, RISE to be future ready, and RISE to create value. Right now, let me explain it a little bit more with all the modules of supply chain that we work with our customers. Right. Say, for example, if you start with plan and design, in any product or service, we leverage our portfolio companies and engineering capabilities to ensure that design is optimized in number of parts and cost. It reduces the waste at scale. And there are multiple portfolio companies like Pininfarina, Perigord, whom we have acquired over a period of time, along with our engineering services, create that holistic offering that can be taken to our customers. The next example, if I can talk about, say, supplier audits. They are not just for industry standards, but we cover larger aspects of health and well-being of workers, zero tolerance to child labor, scope 3 emissions, etc. We use automation, advanced AI tools to support our clients in those aspects. Let me also talk about application of new age technologies like blockchain, digital twin, metaverse, etc., which enable transparency, traceability, and most important, immutability to promote ethical conduct of business, prevent fraudulent activities, whether it's in the fintech sector, whether it is in the manufacturing sector, whether it is in retail and aftermarket. We promote responsible consumption and production of assets with our Industry 4.0, eliminate waste, introduce circularity during production process. Linear asset tracking solution to prevent bushfires, is a unique offering which is offered by one of our portfolio companies, Altavec, right? That is very popular in the ANZ market. A lot of natural resources get consumed and wasted in packaging. So we have come up with a platform that scores the sustainability index of packaging material used and suggests alternatives as well. Further, we are looking to move towards leveraging packages as means of engaging with consumers, like with AR, VR, QR codes, metaverse, educating people about how to consume things. Last but not the least, I was also talk about green financing and other newer areas, right, where we are also investing and working with leading BFSI customers. To summarize, we leverage our experience in implementing sustainability initiatives at Tech Mahindra into jointly developing platforms that are relevant for our clients as well as for our partners. So sustainability is a basic glue for anything and everything that we offer to our customers on the supply chain space.
Raja and Sunil, thanks for this engaging discussion. Exciting times ahead in supply chain for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.